A very good morning to all of you, and welcome to this course. And as you know, the course number for this course is Math 418A, and the title of the course is Inference 1. Now, a prerequisite for this course is that you have sufficient knowledge of the elementary probability theory, and also you have good knowledge of distribution theory, which you might have done at your bachelor's level, and then in few courses at the master's level. So that's the requirement for this course. And if anybody doesn't have a prerequisite of having gone through courses on probability theory and the distribution theory, I would like to caution them that they may find a lot of difficulty in this course. So they may like to drop this course if they don't have a prerequisite of probability theory and distribution theory. Let me briefly start with the first course handout, which will tell you about the course policy, the course details, and how the course will be conducted. Let me share my screen with you.
Full background.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So if what I expect as a matter of courtesy is, if I am asking a question, at least some of you would respond, right? If none of you respond, it becomes very embarrassing for me, and I don't know then how to proceed, right? So I would expect that if I am asking a question, even if you don't know the answer, you would say that, sir, I don't know, right? So otherwise it becomes a monologue, and the whole experience becomes very boring. So I would encourage you to participate actively whenever I'm asking anything. Feel free to stop me anytime you feel that I'm going a little bit fast. If you have any questions, you can stop me anytime. I really encourage questions during my lectures, so feel free to stop me anytime. So as I said, the course is on course is Math 418A, which is Inference 1, and this is the first course handout. Let me just check if I can. Yeah. So as I said, course is on. I have to still get used to. It's just excuse me for a while, and then. Work. So, yeah. Okay. It's a. me just close it once and then. Okay, let me just stop it and okay. Share the screen with you and then okay, so as I told you that the course number is Math 418A. The title of the course is Inference Fun. I am your instructor in charge, and I hope by now you know my name.
Sir, we're not able to see any PDF.
You're not able to see?
No, sir.
Oh, there's an issue there. Okay, let me just check. There seems to be some problem with this stops here. Okay. Let me just try to see. Okay. Let me see. You can. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir. It's all right.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. Visible. Okay. Let me see. Still, I'm not able to. Yeah. Format. Can you see the slides now? The PDF file? Is the PDF file visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us now start. So I'm your having a lot of difficulty today. Why this doesn't scroll? Seems to be some problem with the. So okay, let me just start it. I think today, being a first lecture, we can. I'm sorry for this inconvenience. So first thing which I wanted to talk today was about the class timings. Does this class timing suits everybody? 8 o'clock? Or you would like to have it at some other time?
No, sir. It's all right.
Yeah. So one
All
option
right
is
for
if
me.
if you find 8 to be too early, other option is we can have it. I don't know what your schedule is. Other timings when I can have it is around 11 or 12. I don't know what your schedule is. Does 12 suits everybody, or you have another lecture at 12?
No, sir, we don't have any lecture. But on day Friday, we have a regression class.
At 12, right? What about
Yes,
rest
sir.
of what about the rest
The
of
rest
the
of the
days?
days are free.
Free at 12. So
Yes,
maybe does 12 suits you? If it suits you, then I can shift it to 12 so that it is not, because I know a lot of you are Bengalis, and Bengalis normally find this 8 o'clock class very difficult. So
No, sir. No, sir.
I leave it to you. If you want, I can always shift it to 12. Oh, so somebody has a lectures at 12, right? So that's okay. Yeah, so then other is what about 8? All the days there. See, what happens is 2 days 8 and 1 day at 2, and then the remaining day at 11 is very inconvenient. Sometimes even I forget, and there is a high possibility that you may also forget, right? So if I keep it 8 or any other time, you tell me, I'm fine with any time. So is there any time which, so let me, feel free to tell me if 9 o'clock, certainly many of you may be having lectures, right?
Yes, sir.
9 you have lectures. What about 10?
Yes, sir. We have Shalab sir's class.
10, 11? So let me go one by one. 11 is free, or 11?
not all days.
No, sir. We have major theory class, means probability.
Okay, somebody is saying that I think these MSc 2-year students are free from 9 on all the days, right? What about is anybody occupied at 9?
Yes, sir, we have data mining class on
Okay,
Tuesday.
9 and 11. So I think 12, 11, 2 means I don't prefer 2 because. What about 5 in the evening?
Yes, sir, I have lectures.
Also, everybody has, right? So then in that case, can I keep the classes, lectures on the same days, but timings I change it to 8?
No, sir. On some days we have Shalab sir's class.
On which day?
On so just a minute, 1 minute. We have Shalab sir's class on Tuesday 8 and on Thursday at 8, on Friday at 8.
For Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8. So it looks like we can't do anything, right? We have to live with the present schedule.
So 9 a.m. will be suitable, as on Tuesday you don't have any class, but on other days we are free on 9. We are free on 9.
But some of them are occupied, right? When one person is occupied, I can't do anything about it.
I don't think so. Maybe no.
Which
have
day?
class.
We are having
But I
a
have
class
class.
at 9. Yeah.
Yeah, so people have a
So
class.
we're free
Yeah.
from 1. So we're free from 1 p.m.
What about 6 to 7 would be too late. By that time, you would be exhausted, and this is a course which is not that light course, which you can really.
So,
Yeah.
sir,
Yeah, tell me.
Tuesday we do not have any class with you, but so Monday and Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 a.m. we are free, so we can have that class with you. Tuesday we do not have any class scheduled with you.
So
Right.
Thursday 9 we have elective.
There is some elective. I think that is how they said. And some of you are occupied with some elective at that time, right? What about 3 to 4?
Sir, we have MTH 416 on Monday.
I think let us not waste time in this. I think let us live with whatever we have, right? So we can't do anything about it. We have to continue with whatever schedule I have. So let me see. I think I have messed up with my settings today, and that is why this, when I'm sharing, I'm not able to. Okay. So okay, now I'm able to do it. So, yeah. Okay. So this is a course on protein statistics. Sorry, this is a course on inference 1. The prerequisites are protein statistics, right? So so the prerequisite is protein statistics, and either you should have done also protein theory 1. That is always useful if you have done it. But in case if you find that some of the topic which I am covering, you don't have a background, feel free to ask me. I can always explain it during the lecture. Now you know that schedule is on Monday and Wednesdays between 8 to 8:50, Thursday 2 to 2:50. These are the lecture timings. Tutorials, these are supposed to be in L9. Once we go into hybrid mode, I don't see a possibility of that in the near future because of this recent COVID outburst. But let's hope that we are able to meet sometime at least during the semester. So once things normalize, we may go for a hybrid mode, and lectures for that would be held in L9. Tutorials are on Fridays during 11 to 11:50. Again, lecture hall is not assigned. So once we go into hybrid mode, I'll let you know in which lecture hall we will have tutorials. Now, I've also kept a discussion hour. Discussion hour, I can have it on Tuesday between 5 to 5:50. Does that suit everybody? Discussion hour? Discussion hour is voluntary. Not everybody has to come. Anybody who is having a doubt can come during on Tuesdays between 5 to 5:50 in the evening.
Sir, what do you
I
mean
have
by
classes
tutorials?
in that time.
Tutorials means we'll have a homework problems, right? I'll be giving you homework problems, and during the tutorials, you can discuss the homework problems. You can also discuss any doubt you might have, right? Because I'll be giving some homework problems. You don't have to submit, but still you may have some problems, right? You may not be able to solve all the problems.
Okay, sir, I understand.
You got it? So it is mainly for homework problems or any concept which you are finding difficulty during the lectures. You can discuss it during tutorials. So discussion hour could be at one-to-one, means personal level. If somebody wants to fix an appointment, one can fix an appointment with me and get clarified his or her doubts. So one way is I don't keep a discussion hour as it is, but anybody can write to me anytime. But that is also fine. I think Tuesday 5 to 5:50, does that suit everybody?
No, sir, I have lectures on that slot.
Honestly, at what time most of the students of MSc 2 year are free? Let me find it out first, that because they are in the majority. What is the slot which is free for you on any of the days? Need not be Tuesday, on any of the days.
1 to 2 p.m.
1 to 2 p.m. on
all days, I think, we're free.
you see, one way is I can have a discussion hour on Saturday because it is a discussion hour where anybody can come, right? Even one student can write to me and I can do it through appointment. Or shall I keep it Tuesday 1 to 2? What about Tuesday 12:30 to 1:30? Does anybody has a lecture on Tuesday at 12? Does anybody has a lecture on Tuesday at 12:30?
No, sir.
No, sir, we don't have from stats background.
So what I can do is I can keep this discussion hour Tuesday 12:30 to 13:30 hours. There is a possibility that some of you may be occupied during this time. They can always send me an email if they want to discuss something in person. I'll be more than glad to clarify their doubts. So feel free or through appointment. So let me write down. Discussion hour is during this time I will be certainly available, or it is through appointment by email. Right? You can fix up an appointment with me, and I will be glad to clarify your doubts. Let me see. I see some chats. So yeah, so I think Sagar is saying that he has a class from 12 to 1:50, but his FCH is not released. That's okay. So Sagar, whenever you feel like, you can always write to me. I can always devote. So this discussion, let me tell you what is the purpose of a discussion hour. Discussion hour, I will not be speaking anything. You can come, only one student can come. You can come in groups, and whatever doubts you have, you will only be speaking and I will be clarifying those doubts. So there will not be any lecture as such from my side. It is discussion hour is basically a doubt clearing session, right? You can also call it as a doubt clearing. So as such, there will not be anything from my side. You can come in groups, individually, to clarify your doubts. So Sagar, and I hope that there may be other students like him who may be occupied during this 12 to 30 hours. They can always fix up an appointment with me, and then I can have a session with them. Is that okay? Any doubts so far?
Yes, sir.
You have a doubt?
No, sir, it's fine.
Okay,
It's all right.
fine. Okay. Now the course would be run through the MOOC management system. By now, you all must be familiar with this system. So to begin with, it will be in the online mode. And as I said, if situation improves in the future, we may go for a hybrid mode or totally offline mode, depending on you. All right. I'll ask you. So there's a possibility that some of you may be comfortable with totally offline mode. Then I can take a lecture offline mode. Some of them want to have online mode. In that case, for students who are interested in attending the lecture, they can come to the lecture hall. For others, I'll be releasing the video and so on. Right? All possibilities are there. But right now, it will be totally on online mode. Right? Now, you're already familiar with this platform, which is available at the link hello.iitk.ac.in, and you are already using it. So I'll advise you to get acquainted with this platform. Now, if you want to see the academic calendar and list of holidays, they're available at these two sites. So first site gives you the calendar, the academic calendar, which gives you the dates of mid-semester examination, last date of dropping the course, the date, the period of end semester examination, and so on. Now, as I said, these lectures will be held either in online mode or in hybrid mode, depending on the availability of the infrastructure and your convenience. However, the first few lectures will be held in online modes, right? And these lectures would be available to you online. These videos will be recorded and they will be made available to you. So I have written down this for clearing the doubts. There's a discussion hour. This I have changed it to Tuesday. The timing is, what is the timing I said? 12:30 to 1:30? Let me just go back to what is the timing I have written down. Yeah, 12:30 to 13:30 hours. So this is the timing. Now then I'll have a online tutorial session. I have already talked about it, which is on Friday. Now the recordings of everything would be available. Now these are the reference books. The book by Casella and Berger on statistical inference. Then there are other books you may like to see: mathematical statistics, theory of point estimation, theory of statistical hypothesis. Now there's a course content is described over here. So this course would essentially have two parts. In the first part, I'll be discussing mainly the estimation theory. And in the second part, I'll be discussing the testing of hypotheses. So this is the course content. You may like to go through it. Let me tell you what are the course objectives and learning outcomes. Course objectives means what are the objectives for taking this course, and what finally you'll be able to learn after this course is over. So I have two sequence of courses, Math 418A and Math 515A. Inference 1 and Inference 2 courses. They are designed to expose students to basic principles and theory of statistical inference, with main emphasis on statistical estimation and statistical testing of hypothesis problems. Now, in the first course, which you are taking currently, the students in the beginning will be introduced to data reduction. So in statistics, you always deal with the data, and you use the data to make certain decisions and certain inferences. But this data itself may be too huge, and it may have a lot of redundant information. So the first thing which you try to do is try to get rid of this redundancy which is available in the data. Or in other words, you try to summarize the data. So we introduce the data reduction, which is data summarization. And for that, I'll need a notion of sufficiency, minimal sufficiency, and completeness. So that is the first thing which we'll do in the CAD. Then we'll discuss various methods of estimation, which partly you might have done in your first course at bachelor's level. Method of likelihood, method of movement estimator, and then UMUE. Their properties would also be discussed. Then we'll discuss the basic principles of hypothesis testing problems, type 1 error, type 2 error, power and size of the test. How do you derive UMP test? And then a concept of a UMPU test will be introduced, because what we are going to realize is that in many situations, uniformly most powerful test does not exist. So the way uniformly best estimator does not exist, uniformly most powerful test does not exist. Then what you try to do is you try to look at the estimator or the test within a smaller class of test procedures. So you look at only the class of unbiased tests, and then try to find out what is the best test in the class of all unbiased tests. Then in the follow-up course, which is Math 515A, some methods of estimation and hypothesis testing will be introduced. There is a principle of invariance, which is very intuitive to apply. That would be introduced. Then some decision theoretic notions like Bayes estimators, Bayes decision rules, minimax estimators, minimax decision rules would be introduced. asymptotic properties of maximum likelihood estimator, and method of movement estimators would be discussed. Methods for deriving invariant, unbiased, and likelihood ratio tests would be discussed. How do you derive invariant, unbiased, and likelihood ratio tests? That would be done in the follow-up course. So let me explain what is the prerequisite for this course. So a prerequisite to do this course is that the student must have received a passing grade in MSO 201A or a similar course. You already do a course in distribution theory in your second semester. So some basic course on probability and distribution theory you must have done. Especially students are expected to have knowledge of advanced calculus, probability and distribution theory. Although wherever possible, these topics will be reviewed in the context while developing various topics in the course. Now let's talk about various weightages. So there'll be an online mid-semester examination of 2-hour duration on one of the dates between 21st February to 26th February. This will carry 25% weightage. So one mid-semester examination will carry 25% weightage. And it will be held during the dates which are mentioned in the academic calendar. The exact date for our course would be decided by the TOA, and it will be communicated to everybody in the due course. And then there will be an end semester examination of 3-hour duration. So your mid-semester would be of 2-hour duration. End semester examination would be of 3-hour duration. And this again would be on one of the days mentioned in the academic calendar. It's 25th April to 4th May. This end semester would carry 50% mark. So that means your mid-semester and end semester together would carry 75% marks. Now in between, I'll have 2 long quizzes of 45 minutes duration each. The first quiz I have already decided the date. It will be on 29th January, which is Saturday. So the first quiz would be between the starting of the course and the first mid-semester examination. The second quiz is on 26th March, which is again on Saturday. This falls between the mid-semester examination and end semester examination. Now each of these quizzes will carry 20.5% marks. So in total, 25% weightage is to the quizzes, 25% to the mid-semester examination, and 50% to end semester examination. All the examinations would be online. Online examinations and quizzes will be of long answer type and solutions. So there will not be any MCQ type of questions where you have to choose one of the options. All the examinations will be long answer type. So you have to write down your answers very clearly on a A4 size sheet. And at the end of the examination or the quiz, you have to scan those answer sheets and they are to be uploaded on the Mockit platform using a feature available there. You have to ensure that your uploaded images are clear and readable, as unclear or unreadable answer sheets will not be graded. This was about the course policy. Then how your grades would be awarded. So normally I follow a relative grading, but then I also expect that there is a minimum threshold that you follow to clear a course. So for getting a A-star grade, you should get a maximum of 85% marks or mu plus 2.03 sigma. Mu is the mean of the total marks of all students. Sigma is the standard deviation of all marks of all our students. Similarly, for A grade, you should have a maximum of 70% or mu plus 1.2 and sigma. B grade, maximum of 55%, and mu plus 0.2 sigma. C grade maximum of 40% and mu minus 0.84 sigma. Similarly, D grade maximum of 30% and mu minus 1.2 sigma. E grade maximum of 20% and mu minus 1.64 sigma. Here, mu and sigma are the mean and standard deviation respectively of final marks of all students. Now, note that when I've written down these 85% marks, in certain situations, these marks may be normalized. They may not be your raw scores. So, for example, you may get 20 marks out of 100. So these 85% marks, when I'm talking about, these are not the raw scores, these are the scaled scores. What I mean by saying a scaled score? That means looking at the performance of all the students, I might scale your scores. So for example, if everybody gets just 10 marks out of 100, right? Then that means the paper was extremely difficult, because it cannot happen that out of 60 students, nobody can get 10% marks. In that situation, I may have to do some scaling, but normally it would be a raw score. But if required, it can be a scaled score, so that I can get a nice distribution of marks. Now, online participation policy, I expect that you will attend all the sessions, because my experience shows that if you are regular in lectures, you will not face any difficulty. But if you feel that I can just prepare for the examination just before the examination, my past experience shows that such students always face difficulty. So I would strongly advise all of you to be regular in lectures, whether they are online or whether they are in hybrid mode. Now then, about code of conduct and ethics, you all are matured students. You are privileged to have education in one of the premier institutes. Possibly not everybody in this country is as privileged as you. Now, once you are so privileged, you have certain sense of responsibility. And that sense of responsibility has to be reflected through your code of conduct and ethics, which are expected in any premier institution like IIT Kanpur. So I would expect that you would do all the examinations of your own. You're expected to maintain high standards of ethics in your examinations. I hope that I don't have to do anything extra to check whether the code of conduct was proper or not. However, whenever I have a doubt, I will be performing consistency tests on doubtful cases. Sometimes I feel that certain candidates seems to have indulged in using unfair means. Such students would be separately called, and some consistency tests would be applied on such students just to make sure that no violation of code of conduct has taken place. Students found using unfair means in examination or the quizzes will not only get F grade, their matter will also be referred to SSAC. SSAC is a body under Dean of Student Affairs, which looks after the disciplinary aspects of student community. So I sincerely hope that I don't have to really bother about this section 4, which is on code of conduct and ethics, because I expect all of you to maintain high standards of ethics. You see, don't be afraid of anything. If you have any difficulty, a genuine difficulty, always my doors are open. I would go an extra mile to help you out in any problem you're facing. But somehow, if there's a violation of a code of conduct, I'm sorry, I'll not be in a position to help you out. So be honest to yourself, be honest to myself, be honest to the course. And we all have our own problems. So there's a possibility that sometimes you might be having very genuine problems. In such cases, do not hesitate to contact me. Right? My doors will always be open to help you out in every possible manner. Makeup examination. There'll be no makeup examination for missed semester examination or quizzes. If a student does not appear in mid-semester examination or a quiz due to a bona fide reason, mostly medical emergency, he may be considered for prorating the grade of missed examination with the average grades in remaining examination. In any case, not more than one proration will be considered. It cannot happen that you ask for a proration of one quiz and one mid-semester, or one or both the quizzes, or a mid-semester and a quiz. For end semester, the makeup examination will be as per the policy of the Dean of Academic Affairs. For missing mid-semester examination or quiz due to an emergent situation, request for proration shall be made as soon as possible after the date of mid-semester examination or quiz. In case of medical emergency, the student must present a letter from the doctor stating that the student was not in condition to take examination. I don't want to see your medical report. I don't want to see what medical condition you are having. But I expect that you'll get a letter from a doctor certifying that you are not in a position to take the examination. That's all. A single line statement that you are not in a position to take examination on such and such date would be good enough for me. Makeup examination for end semester examination will be as per the policy declared by the DOE, and that you already aware of. Lecture notes, assignment problems, and examination quizzes. Students are expected to go through the suggested reference books for further understanding of course material covered in video. Handwritten lecture notes will also be made available on the MOOC platform. Even this first course handout is also available in the MOOC platform. So at leisure time, you can always go and look at your FCH, where all the details of the course and course policy are illustrated. A list of suggested homework problems will be provided through various homework sheets posted on the MOOC platform. Now I'll give you a mantra for mastering the course that requires some amount of a discipline, but not very difficult to achieve. So for mastering the course material and doing well in examination, a student must first try to solve homework problems of their own. All difficulties may be discussed during tutorial sessions or discussion hours. So the first thing is you should be regular in lectures. Regularity. In lectures. That is the first thing. Second thing is homework problems. You should do it very religiously. If you have any difficulty, you can first discuss between yourself. There's a possibility that still you might have difficulties. Feel free to contact me. I'll be more than willing to help you out in solving these homework problems. Now, a natural question which many students face is, how much effort should I put in this course so that I can be reasonably placed as far as this course is concerned? Now, note that this course has 11 credits. out of which 4 hours are for classroom sessions. How these 4 hours? 3 hours for lecture and 1 hour for tutorial. So out of 11 credits, each credit, so this is 4 hours. So that means 4 hours, so 11 credits means you are supposed to devote 11 hours for this course per week. Out of these 11 hours, which corresponds to 11 credits, 4 hours are for classroom sessions. So that means there are remaining of 7 hours which you have to do. And those 7 hours you have to do a self-study. So this is 3 lectures. For each lecture, you have to devote 2 hours to understand. So 3 2 is 6. For one tutorial, you have to devote 1 hour extra. So 1 into 1. So 3 lectures. This corresponds to lectures. For each lecture, you have to do 2 hours of home study. This is a tutorial, 3 lectures and 1 tutorial. For each tutorial, you have to do 1 hour of a self-study. So that means 7 hours of home study is required for an average student. Brighter students might need lesser hours. Weaker students may need slightly more hours. So this is a mantra. Remember this, if you're an average student and devoting less than 7 hours for the course, that would reflect that you're not doing justice with the course. So this was a brief description about the course policy, course details. Now you might have a few questions on this first course handout or otherwise. So now I invite any questions you have on this first course handout or any other question which may be bothering you. Any question?
So can we use that forum on Hello ITK for doubt clearing?
Hello, which forum? As a forum for doubt clearing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sure. We can use that also, but you see, it's better to have an online session. You see, forums you can anyway discuss between yourself. There is no problem, right? You can always discuss between yourself. But I always prefer that there is a formal session because then I can use the board and everything, right? But forums you can always post questions, and I'll be willing to answer them. Right? You can always pose your questions, and you will get a reply. You can use the forums. There is no issue with that.
Okay,
In fact,
sir.
I would encourage you to use the forums. So forums, anybody can answer the question, but if I feel that answer is not correct, then I'll intervene and I'll give the correct answer. Right, so I would encourage everybody to use forums. Any other question? Any other question? Let me see if does anyone has any other question? Okay, if you don't have any questions, then you can disperse, and we'll meet in our next lecture, which is scheduled tomorrow at 2. So that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Okay. Does anyone has a question? Still, I can wait for a minute. Okay. If there are no questions, then let us disperse. And I'm ending the meeting now.